making sense of politics and the cultural divide from a different perspective. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant on News Radio 710 Keel.
Well, hello, citizens. It's a great day in the USA, and it's Friday. We're here advancing the cause of American liberty and freedom. I'm CL Bryant, and this is America on the Edge, where you'll not live on the edge, but you'll have the edge. Broadcasting from within the borders of the greatest success story the world has ever known, the United States of America. Invite you to stay a while with me and my co-host, Stephen Parr. And Stephen, tell the folks what we have in this lineup today.
See, I'm very excited about the show today because we have two guests that we're going to have on, and one of them I've admired for quite a long time. We're going to start off talking about what's going on in St. Louis and whether you think the way you think about St. Louis may be based upon your race. If it follows some previous events, such as O.J. Simpson and Trayvon Martin, we'll be talking about that, and there's some developments in that issue during the day today.
Very interesting developments.
We're also going to be talking to Alveda King. That is the niece of Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes, love Alveda.
And very excited about that. And we're also going to be talking to Dr. Artis Cash live in studio. And
that'll be interesting.
That will. Dr. Artis Cash earlier this week protested the Independence Bowl.
You better stay a while. You don't want to miss that.
It's going to be an interesting conversation. We want to find out why he's protesting it and what he wants to see changed. But first, let's get into the buzz.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
So, CL, you've been saying several days here in a row, you've said America's on the edge and the world is on fire. And some people listening, they may go, CL, you're exaggerating. CL, turns out you're not exaggerating. According to a new study, there are only 11 countries in the entire world that are not involved in some kind of armed conflict, a civil war, military action overseas, something like that.
11 countries out of, what is it, 156?
162.
162 countries, and 11 of the countries in the world, on the globe, the earth, are not in some type of warfare. The world is on fire, and where's Obama? Where's he at? Did he come back?
Yeah, he got back to Washington earlier today. He's going to go back to Martha Vineyard. Don't worry, he'll get the rest of his vacation in.
Okay, but he's back in town now.
Yeah, he's back.
But why?
He had to give a press conference.
Oh, he had to get a press conference.
Yeah, we'll hear a little bit about that as well. Okay. Here's the 11 countries. Switzerland, they never get involved in a war.
No.
They have their guards are protecting the Pope, but they don't really get involved in wars.
Oh, yeah.
Japan. Now, Japan is in a war of words with China. They're arguing over some islands, but it hasn't come to military blows.
They're still making movies over there.
Yeah,
lips don't move in sync.
Godzilla and all that.
Yeah.
Qatar, which has a whole bunch of money and is busy building soccer stadiums for a World Cup coming up in 2022.
Better things to do.
Mauritania's, which is it's an island chain out in the Pacific. You got Chile.
Yeah.
Which did have conflict in its country last decade and the decade before. Botswana, which well done for them because most of Africa is on fire.
Sounds like Botswana should be fighting.
Yeah. Costa Rica in Central America. Vietnam, interesting. And again, they're in conflict with China over rights in the South China Sea.
A friend of mine just got back from Vietnam on vacation and says it's one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And certainly a very different place than it was 40 years ago. Panama and Brazil. And, of course, Brazil's had internal strife. But
I could live in Rio, man.
But the world is on fire.
Yeah,
everybody else is involved in conflict some way or the other. Speaking of conflict, ISIS. You brought this up in a meeting we had earlier today. We didn't publicize it for folks on air. It's kind of our planning meeting. But you mentioned that you heard that ISIS only has about 10 to 12,000 soldiers.
Yeah, I was surprised at that, Stephen.
It is surprising because they've gained territory the size of Louisiana and Arkansas combined.
Yeah.
But they only have 10 to 12,000 soldiers. Now, Vox.com says it's 7,000.
Yeah.
But Colonel Oliver North says it's about 15,000.
And my question to you folks is, you know how powerful our military force is. But, you brought this up yourself, Stephen, but these guys, they're beginning to morph. They're beginning to hide behind human shields, because if they're out in the open, it's only 10, 12,000 of them. That's cakewalk for us.
One mother of all bombs could take out
them all out.
Yeah, so they are starting to hide them on the populace in some of the cities they've conquered, rather than going out, and it's why their advance has now been slowed, because the U.S. Air Force has been bombing them.
Let me ask you this, Stephen. Do you think that they are truly a threat to the rest of us, and it's particularly America? Because I don't care what the Germans think. I don't care what the French think. I just care what happens. I just really care. Everything I love, everyone I love, and everything I love is in this country.
Right. I do think that they are a threat to U.S. security, in part because of how porous our borders are. Remember 9/11? They were able to launch those attacks because they had safe haven in Afghanistan. So if ISIS is able to claim a large territory in which they have safe havens for training camps, and our borders stay as porous as they currently are, they become a threat to America.
Yeah, that can't happen.
Right.
It's time to take them out.
And that was one of the reasons why we went into Iraq in the first place, was because of the safe haven for terrorist argument. Now, we also have some breaking news coming out. We had mentioned this on our show earlier, that the Ohio State band director was fired because of a scandal of sexual harassment among and sexual hazing among the students. John Waters is now suing to try and get his job back. The school is still saying, no, you're fired. The things that we outlined on the show here, those are too heinous. You're not getting your job back.
Yeah, and I'm kind of torn on that, because he is one of the great band directors of that school's history. But there are some things that you can't allow. But, as you said this, when he was going to school there himself, this was a part of that culture.
Yeah.
How do you really hold him responsible for being who he is?
Yeah. Now, if the things in the report simply weren't true, okay. But if they were true, there's no way he should have his job back.
I don't think so.
So it'll be interesting to see how that continues to play out. And one other object that we're going to get to here, the most expensive car, a 1932 Ferrari GT, 250 GT, beautiful car.
Whoa.
Just sold at auction for around $34 million.
Oh. When you got that kind of pocket change to throw around, I mean, the world's your pearl.
Yeah.
You might as well drive a Ferrari.
Sure. And
a 32 Ferrari at that.
A lot of people are getting 5- and 6-year car notes now. I don't think you get to do that with that one.
I think he walked up and stroked the check.
Here you go. Here's the pennies.
Vroom, vroom. Oh, it must be nice.
Our question of the day is Friday Follies coming up. What's the silliest news story you've heard all week? Give us a call, 318-320-KEEL. Send us a tweet at The American Edge. Coming up next, we're going to hear from the new Black Panther Party and talk about race in St. Louis.
This is America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
The Italians are not the only lovers of pizza, but just to make the Johnny's of Pizza House experience more authentic for you, we invite you to Be Italian. We'll whisk you far, far away to a land of romance and squisito Italian pizza. A 12-inch for just $12.99 begins your journey. Our new bacon and tomato pizza seasoned with Johnny's special Italian blend. Enjoy, no. Goodere Johnny's bacon and tomato pizza today. Johnny's Pizza House. Taste the best.
Doctors Thornton, Pugh, Ollier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 318 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
Is your house just not cool enough when you walk in from work? You deserve to sit in the cool and comfort of your own home after a long, hard day. Give the friendly folks at Premier a call at 222-1980.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Burr. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get them, CL.
Have you ever thought, I wish I didn't have to search for the best price on printing or direct mail? Tired of trying to design your own material on some confusing website just to get to the end and it's not that professional look your business needs? Well, stop searching and call Graphic Industries. We've been waiting on your business, ready to help you with your printing and direct mail needs. Graphic Industries offers all types of print, stationery, brochures, flyers, catalogs, door hangers, books, pocket folders, postcards, variable printed letters, and much, much more. Graphic Industries can direct mail for you, too. You can customize a mailing list, target a certain demographic, or just flood the market and get your name in the homes of thousands of potential clients. Lowest prices, best quality, and a faster turn time. Visit us online at graphicindustries.net. or call us today at 318-222-1100. Graphic Industries, the #1 choice of printing and direct mail.
You're listening to America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Well, we're back, folks, and I want to thank a caller for calling in, telling me to correct that 1932 Ferrari. It was a 62. Reading my notes wrong, it was a 62 at $34 million that it was bought for. Stephen, we got breaking news.
Yeah, this is coming out of Austin, Texas. Governor Rick Perry has been indicted by the Travis County District Attorney's Office for abuse of power. And here's the interesting thing. By the way, the Travis County District Attorney's Office has a history of indicting Republicans. It's the same office that indicted the Hammer back, who was the whip for the House of Representatives. Anyway, what happened was Rick Perry said he was going to veto $7.5 million from the State Public Integrity Unit. Okay, this is the State Public Integrity Unit. They're supposed to be investigating public officials. But one of the people in the district attorney's office, Rosemary Lindbergh, was convicted of drunk driving. Perry said he was going to veto this money if she didn't resign because she was convicted of drunk driving.
Sounds like Perry was trying to do the right thing, and those who wanted to uphold the wrong thing are wanting to nail him to the cross for it. That's what it sounds like.
That's what it looks like to me as well. Now that same office that had the district attorney that committed drunk driving and was convicted of it has now indicted the governor because he said, I'm not going to fund your office when you're supposed to be prosecuting. There's just a conflict of interest. Why would you give that office
like
money?
Sounds like a Republican-Democrat thing.
That's exactly right.
I bet you if you dug into that, you'd find that there's a Democrat
the district attorney's a Democrat.
hiding in the woodpile. I bet you.
That's exactly right. The district attorney is a Democrat there in Travis County. So some interesting politics being played out there. There's also some interesting stuff going on up in St. Louis, of course, with Ferguson, with the riots that have been going on. Last night, by the way, the Missouri Highway Patrol came in. There was a new person in charge, and for the first night all week, there was no violence.
Yeah.
And it was a change of approach from the police department, and it seemed to pay off very well. So congratulations to them on that. However, there's still a lot of other stuff going on. The chief of police here was going to have a press conference. That press conference got interrupted by the new Black Panther Party.
They showing their heads again.
They stepped in and actually took the mic and started talking. I want you to hear the new Black Panther Party in Ferguson.
This is a shame that as we speak, the President of the United States is talking to Russia. He's talking to China. He's talking to North Korea. He's talking to Iraq and the Middle East about treating their people better. Stop oppressing your people. But as he looked out the window at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, he watching the black man who built the White House shot down like dogs. And if you like it or not, he's from Kenya. He's a Mau Mau.
He's from Kenya, and he's a Mau Mau. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Mau Maus or who the Mau Maus were, they were a revolutionary group of rebellion against the British Crown there in Kenya, and they were terrorists. Now, this Black Panther, new Black Panther, was
Hashim
calling
Nzinga.
him a Mau Mau.
Yeah.
That is a huge slur.
It really is, and there's definitely some unrest there.
Yeah,
because he wants the president to do more. The president, however, in the past has a history of speaking about these things from afar, and then having to backpedal. Remember the beer summit in his first month in office, his first year in office.
But I'm surprised that the new Black Panthers would attack him like that.
It does seem odd. Again,
in this situation,
yeah. Because the president did come out and say that, well, he said there shouldn't be any looting, but he also said the police shouldn't arrest journalists.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when the president said that, upset journalists as well. And it also upset the police departments, police officers across the country, and especially the Fraternal Order of Police, which is a police union. And the head of the Fraternal Order of Police went out and said that it is not helpful for the president to be commenting on this from Martha's Vineyard.
It's a pictorial when you see this in your mind.
Yeah.
And you see what's the turmoil in St. Louis, and you look at the pristine beauty of Martha's Vineyard. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about they're seeing something here that does not quite jibe. And a lot of people do look at the president as an elitist.
We talked about this earlier this week when there was the Rodney King riots in L.A. H.W. Bush went there. He stood in L.A., stood in some of the places where the rioting had occurred, and he talked about it. The president has not been to the St. Louis area. He's been Martha Vineyard, and he's been back up into Washington, D.C. He has not been out there. And it also seems that maybe, once again, a lot of people have been talking without all the facts. There's some new information out today. I want you to listen to a clip here from, this is from Fox News. This was on a lot of places, but Fox News was one of the places that had it first.
This all coming from the police incident report that was released today. According to police, it shows Michael Brown at a convenience store just a short time before the shooting, going in, stealing a stack of Swisher Sweet cigars valued just under $50, roughing up the owner of this convenience store and making his way out the door. That, they say, is the motivation for why the police officer here stopped Michael Brown. That sparked the scuffle between the officer and Michael Brown that ultimately, according to police, put them in the back of the police cruiser, or in the police cruiser, I should say, with a struggle to try to get the officer's weapon. Subsequent to that, the shots were fired.
Now, the question is going to be, Stephen, okay, he may have stole the cigars, but is it justified by the officer to have shot him down if he was shot in the back? But, we still haven't seen the forensic reports.
We have not.
On this. Now, the kid who claimed to have seen him with his hands up,
right?
He was there in the robbery.
He's one of the other suspects in the robbery.
Now, folks, those are the facts. What we were seeing here these last 2 days, all conjecture, all jumping to conclusion. We do know we have, tragically, a dead kid, 18 years old, tragically.
And here's the other thing. I do think it's really important. We're on radio, not on television, but folks need to understand this was an 18-year-old who is 6'4", 292 pounds.
He was a big guy. And if you saw the video of him manhandling that little store owner, the little store owner was a little Asian guy, wasn't he?
I don't know what nationality he was, but he looked like he was under 5'5".
He was slinging him around like he was a Ken doll.
Right.
I mean, gee whiz. But anyway, that's what's going on with that. And I got to tell you, you mentioned Rodney King.
Yeah.
Started the whole thing.
And it reminds me of O.J. Simpson, because a lot of people have looked at this through race to begin with. And whether you're white or whether you're black or some other race, you may have a different view of this Michael Brown case and what has happened here based upon your race. I want to bring up O.J. Simpson because back in the 1990s, when O.J. went on trial, whether you thought he was guilty or innocent was mostly based on race. Most whites
It was divided right down racial lines.
Most whites believed O.J. Simpson was guilty. 60% of blacks believed O.J. Simpson was innocent.
I got to admit, I didn't want to think O.J. was guilty.
I didn't want to think he was either.
I didn't want to believe that because O.J. was the Michael Jordan of my day.
Yeah.
But see, what happened was this. Here we are now in 2014.
Yeah.
And most people, if you ask them, yeah, he did it. Most people would say that these days.
You're exactly right.
And see, O.J.'s own actions have convicted.
A poll that came out on CNN earlier this year said 53% of African Americans now believe O.J. Simpson was guilty.
Yeah.
So we've changed our opinion over time. And it was, in the moment, it was racially divided.
But the damage that can be done, Stephen.
Yeah.
In a 20-year period of time, when you jump to conclusions based on race, is irreversible.
Right. We cannot stop the looting after the effect, after the event.
Exactly.
We can't unburn those businesses.
And some of those businesses were black-owned businesses.
Right. Right.
And that's the tragedy here.
And employed people in that area.
Yeah.
There are now people who live in that area who are out of a job because their business got burned down.
Absolutely. Who gives it back to them? Okay, so what happens when we find out later, on down the road, that really this kid, Michael Brown, did contribute to his own death? What happens? Who says you're sorry for that? Who says you're sorry for the people who have lost their livelihood? That's what we have to question when we get involved in things like this on knee-jerk reactions.
And will the head of the new Black Panther Party come out and apologize and say, hey, you know, what I said about being shot down like dogs, that was maybe overreacting?
This is CL Bryant. You're listening to America on the Edge. We will be right back with my co-host, Stephen Parr.
This is America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
It's a summer sizzler showcase. You could win a $5,000 gift card to any Louisiana Boardwalk store, including Bass Pro Shops. Presented by the outlets at Louisiana Boardwalk. Look online to win at 710keel.com.
It's the most advanced technology available. Engineered with over 200 million sensory receptors. Its all-terrain design is beautifully formed, weather-resistant, reliable, astonishingly high performance in even the most challenging of circumstances. And it is also the finest search technology in the world. There's nothing else quite like a search dog. Be part of the search. Go to searchdogfoundation.org to see how you can help.
8 years ago, Louisiana Power Sports opened for business in Houghton. Well, a lot has happened since then. Louisiana Power Sports has grown into the #1 exclusive Polaris dealer in the South, and we're still growing. Louisiana Power Sports is now open in our big new building on Benton Road, just 1/2 mile north of I-220 in Bossier City. Over 30,000 square feet with a bigger showroom holding more new Polaris ATVs and side-by-sides than ever. A huge new state-of-the-art service department and more parts and accessories. Come see the new store, say hi to everyone you know, and see and test drive the new 2015 Polaris models. Louisiana Power Sports says thank you, Louisiana, thank you, Arkansas, thank you, Texas, for 8 great years in Houghton, and invites you to come see us in our big new location, now open at 3715 Benton Road, 1/2 mile north of I-220 in Bossier City.
Louisiana Power Sports, get ready to ride.
LouisianaPowersports.com.
On your smartphone, you can check company email, stay connected with family on social media, and now, listen to your favorite radio station. Introducing Radio Pup, an app you can get for your smartphone that lets you listen to your favorite radio station anytime, anywhere. Find out where the party's at tonight, what's going on in local news. Always be in the know with Radio Pup. Download Radio Pup in the iTunes Store or Android Market for free, or head to radiopup.com. Radio Pup, the radio app that follows you everywhere. Brought to you by American Wholesale Mattress.
This is Jim Lucas with Don't Major on the Minor, number 491 of 1001 Ways to Connect with Your Kids. Pick up your toys. Watch what you're doing. Don't spill your milk. Your clothes don't match. Eat your peas. Mom and Dad, are you nagging yourself right out of a relationship with your kids? Don't major on the minors. Major on the majors, building a healthy bond with a mature, spiritually rooted child.
from Tyndale House. 1001 ways to connect with your kids.
Robert J. Wright here, back Monday morning with Aaron McCarty.
Some late-breaking news in the mayor's race.
And Crime Lab boss Jimmy Barnhill talks a little science.
It's all coming up Monday morning on News Radio 710 Keel.
Getting it said for the Architects. News Radio 710 Keel. Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with CL Bryant. CL, I'm so excited about our next guest. This is Dr. Alveda King, Pastoral Associate and Director of African American Outreach for Priests for Life and founder of Alveda King Ministries.
And she is a very good friend of mine. Stephen, she's in the movie Runaway Slave. She's been so gracious a friend to me over these last few years. And Alveda, I thank you so much for being on the show. Welcome to America on the Edge with CL Bryant. How are you?
CL, it's just wonderful to speak to you today briefly, and I just want to commend you for all the work that you're continuing to do. I'm actually at the National Underground Freedom Center in Cincinnati with Arnold Colbert and members of the National Black Life Pro-Life Coalition, and just thinking about that, Runaway Slave, the movie 12 Years a Slave, and all of that. And we know that we're still on the battlefield here in the 21st century working to end oppression for all people.
Absolutely. You have a new book out, King Rules. Tell us about the book. And then, Alveda, in about 2 weeks, I want to have you back on. I know you got to go.
Well, I'd be happy to tell you the King Rules is the rules that I learned as a child growing up in the same family that birthed Martin Luther King Jr., my uncle, my father, A.B. King's brother. And simply put, there are 10 rules. Make home a priority. Serve your family. When you serve your family in love and grace and submission to parental authority, you're ready to serve others outside the home. Get a good education. Guard your heart and your body, and that's marriage between one man and a woman, and to guard your sexuality and to follow God's way with that. Then defend life from conception until natural death, and that's no euthanasia, no killing sick or elderly people, no killing babies in the womb, no killing of the innocent at all. Care for the needy, fight for justice, work for peace, pursue the beloved community, and find your joy. And I've been noticing now, CL, that those would make good platform points for upcoming elections, for instance. And I have been talking to the people over in Ferguson, Missouri, with the killing of Michael Brown. And I said, my God, if we could be fighting for justice, working for peace, loving each other, making sure that young people like Michael Brown have a good education so that they want to contribute to society, tell them about the goodness of God.
Alveda, let me ask you this right quick. What would Dr. King, what would your dad, A.D. King, have said about this incident and the type of things that are erupting there in St. Louis?
They would say exactly what you are saying to people, what I'm saying, my cousin Bernice King, to be nonviolent, do seek for justice. Let's work on society so that our young people are no longer threatened, so that our police officers can be respected. We have to bring back respect for order and authority, which begins in the home, honoring our parents. Those are the same things that are said in that book, King Rules. And so those rules would apply very well in this situation.
Dr. King, I went to a luncheon here in Shreveport earlier today where there's actually a video of you playing, and it was trying to get pastors to sign up for the Who Will Stand rally. And you are a part of that. I just wanted to see if you could briefly tell folks what that's about and why it's important to you.
Who Will Stand? We're setting our clock every day in the morning at 7:14 and in the evening at 7:14. If my people will call by my name, 2 Chronicles 7:14. And to stand up for truth and to stand up for justice in love and dignity. Of course, we want to obey the standards and rules of the Lord, but we want to do that with compassion. So I will stand, and I pray that America will begin to stand. And we can all start by praying together at 7:14 every day.
Alveda, I want to thank you so much for being on with us. God bless you and God keep you. I want to get you back on in a couple of weeks. Folks, we've been on with Dr. Alveda King. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.
God bless you. Thank you.
Folks, that is one of the premier fighters and movers, shakers for justice and American freedom in this country. I'm proud to call her a great friend of mine. She's going to be here in Shreveport. Actually, she's coming up 2 times, I believe it is. Elaine, she's coming in here twice, I believe, in October and then in November. Dr. King's going to be with us, and we'll be with her both times and taking you with us when we do. Right now, we have in the studio with us someone who is also a person who I have as a friend, even though he and I do, in fact, see things somewhat differently. In fact, a lot differently. And sometimes some of the issues that Dr. Cash and I talk about, we're diametrically opposed to them. But this is the show where we build bridges back and forth. This is a show where we talk about that elephant in the American living room. And I want to bring now to the air here on Keel someone who I think adds to the conversation on the American landscape, and that is Dr. Artis Cash. Dr. Cash, thank you so much for joining us here on America on the Edge. What's going on? Tell us what's going on in Dr. Artis Cash's world right now.
Well, hopefully we're all in the same world. I was listening to you guys just a moment ago about the unfortunate incident over in Ferguson, Missouri, and I noticed that, Stephen, you didn't say that the police chief came back and said that those 2 events were not related. And I think if we're going to be all the way, I think we need to not give part of the truth. We need to get the whole truth out of a matter. I know Sister King. I know her well. We were on the dais together. And so I understand what she was doing. So I'm happy to be with you all and to answer any questions that you all may have for me. I'm about helping people. If you look at my my inspirations, and one of the things that I aspire to do is to win the Nobel Peace Award. And so I'm going to, that ain't that funny.
No,
now,
it's
y'all.
not funny at all. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Now listen.
Okay.
In Ferguson, Missouri.
Sure.
Regardless of how the facts shake out.
Right.
Is there any excuse for the behavior of people in that area?
No, for none of them. For the officers were wrong, as well as the people that are looting. All of that is wrong.
Are we jumping to perhaps conclusions without the facts, though? We don't know if the officer was wrong. We do know that the people that were burning down businesses were definitely wrong. We don't know how this young man truly met his demise. Did he contribute to his own demise? Do we know it? Do we know that, Doc?
Well, we do. We do. See, that's the good part about all this. And we do because what we've done is we've done our homework. And so we begin, he's trying to get your attention. We're trying to do some things and get the truth out. Here's one of the things that you guys have. Y'all have the luxury of listening to thousands of people listening to you every day. And we have a responsibility. As I tell people, I do what I do because I have a responsibility to do right by everybody. And people might label me one way, but that's the way humans are. They will label you in certain ways. But I think it's important for us to understand that an unarmed young man was shot in the back, a human being. That doesn't make it right. And for the chief to come back out and to say, well, he was involved in that incident. However, they were not connected because the officer had no knowledge of what was going on.
Sure, and just to be fair, I didn't say that they were necessarily connected, but we did find out more information about Michael Brown today, and we did find out some other information about the system. Now, we also don't know for sure if he was shot in the back. That's been one of the reports, but we don't have an autopsy report back that confirming that.
Okay, let me just say this, Stephen. I worked on an issue one time with Marquis' husband. He was shot 23 times here in Shreveport, Louisiana. 23 times.
Yeah.
And he had a cell phone in his hand. If you watch the video, because the video went viral, we saw what adrenaline rush would do to individuals that might be having a bad day.
Sure.
And so in that case, it took for something like 2 years for the officer that did one of the shootings to be around Cross Lake bragging to somebody that the way you get a cushion job, you shoot an in the back.
Okay, that just to be fair again, that has absolutely nothing to do with Michael Brown in Ferguson. Different city, different state, different people. You can't say at this point.
Can I show you the necklace?
Can you show me a necklace?
The necklace. The necklace. Nexus.
Okay.
Oh,
the
nexus. The nexus. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. May I show it to you?
Sure.
Okay. The necklace here is that here we have individuals that are law enforcement, and here they have an individual that they think is in some kind of rage. And you have them shooting one man, Marquis Husband. You have them shooting another man, Michael Brown.
Okay, but if you're going to call me on the carpet and say that I wasn't clear that the robbery and the shooting weren't related, what you're talking about is even less related.
No.
They're different people.
But this is
different people.
Let me bring this to where we wanted to be in understanding that the story of mankind is a story of tragedy, is of human tragedy. And Michael Brown here in 2014, the Holocaust in the 40s, and the murder of Christians back in the days of Romans, the story of mankind is a story of human tragedy. This is what I want to get to before I can't let you go without asking you this.
Okay.
Independence Bowl.
Right.
Emmitt Smith.
Okay.
You had some problems with both of those.
No, I did.
What was going on then? What happened, Doc?
All right. Here's what happened. Phil Robertson, just like you guys have an audience of people. Phil Robertson came up and said that people of my ethnicity, African American,
and mine,
and yours, they appreciated slavery from his GQ.
No, actually, let me read the article.
It's not verbatim. It's not verbatim.
No, of course it's not verbatim. Let me tell you,
I
know Phil. Read that verbatim, Stephen.
The blacks. This is from the GQ article with Robertson. The blacks worked for farmers. I hoed cotton with them. I'm with the blacks because we're white trash. We're going across the field. They're singing and happy. I never heard one black person say, I'll tell you what, these doggone white people. Not a word. Pre-entitlement, pre-welfare. You say, were they happy? They were godly. They were happy. No one was singing the blues. This wasn't about slavery. This was
about a
during segregation.
Time. When, Doc, you and I are very close to the same age.
Do you think that was a statement that should have been put out?
Let me tell you why it should have been put out, Doc, because you will agree with me on this. I know you will.
Okay, let's see.
Even though times for us as black people were not better back then, we ourselves as a people were better people. We had stronger families. We had hope of a better future, and we worked toward that. I've talked to Phil. This is what he was saying. He wasn't saying that those were the times that were good for black folks, or even, as he referred to himself, white trash. But he was saying that Americans were better people in that particular day and time. And what happens so much in our racially charged world today is that we'll take the statements of someone who is really a salt-of-the-earth guy. Have you ever met Phil?
I've never met him before.
He's a salt-of-the-earth guy, and his motives are very good. And he did not mean anything racist or racial toward you or I as people of color. He was just making a statement about who we were as Americans as far as our core values were concerned back then. Doc, I'll give you the last word.
Well, I don't know why he didn't use the word American. And I think that would have been the portion that he should have put in there. However, I, as an individual, was offended by it. I was offended by it. I was offended by the Independent Bowl getting together with Duck Dynasty. After Duck Dynasty, A&E decided that they were going to cancel that show for a couple of days and then brought it back. So I was offended when I'm part of a city that has an Independence Bowl that any title sponsor will have to pay $800,000+, but they didn't have to pay a penny. In fact, we give them $400,000 more every year to add to their $400 million. And then in addition to that, we don't get anything out of this. In fact, we get taxed, and come this November, when you get ready to vote in November, understand that you're going to be voting for a tax that will pay Duck Dynasty.
Well, Doc, I'm hoping that the independence vote attracts many of tourists to this area that will stimulate your pockets, my pockets, and the pockets of every businessman in the city of Shreveport and surrounding areas. Thank you so much for coming in, being a stand-up guy. God bless you. God keep you. We'll talk to you soon.
God bless you as well.
All right. This is America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr. Be back in a minute.
This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
SB Magazine, North Louisiana's premier publication, is your source for local entertainment, home decor ideas, gardening information, fashion trends, and seasonal gift guides. Every month, we take you behind the scenes at some of Shreveport-Bossier's most fun events in Ion SB. And you'll find SB Magazine everywhere. But the best way to make sure you have the most current issue is to subscribe. It's just $16 for 12 months. Call Debbie today or go to our website, sbmag.net. SB Magazine, the pulse of Shreveport-Bossier.
William F. Duncan doesn't just offer auto, home, and life insurance. He does it with great personal service. William F. Duncan has covered Caddo and DeSoto parishes for over 18 years. Call him today, 318-532-4300. Tell him CL sent you.
It's the most advanced technology available. Engineered with over 200 million sensory receptors. Its all-terrain design is beautifully formed, weather-resistant, reliable, astonishingly high performance in even the most challenging of circumstances. And it is also the finest search technology in the world. There's nothing else quite like a search dog. Be part of the search. Go to searchdogfoundation.org to see how you can help.
On your smartphone, you can check company email, stay connected with family on social media, and now, listen to your favorite radio station. Introducing Radio Pup, an app you can get for your smartphone that lets you listen to your favorite radio station anytime, anywhere. Find out where the party's at tonight, what's going on in local news. Always be in the know with Radio Pup. Download Radio Pup in the iTunes Store or Android Market for free, or head to radiopup.com. Radio Pup, the radio app that follows you everywhere. Brought to you by American Wholesale Mattress.
Hello, I'm Alice Foster. If you're a woman 65 or older and you love your family like I do, please think about this. You're an important part of your family's life, but your risk of getting breast cancer increases as you get older. Call your doctor for a mammogram now. Medicare pays for most of the cost, and it's the most important step we can take to ensure precious time with our loved ones. I work hard to fight breast cancer. Please join me. A mammogram is the best gift you can give. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself.
It was 1 against, I don't know, probably 10. By the time they were done, his neck was red. I am afraid to go to high school. It scares me.
I have a knife and you don't. Ha 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 ha. There was this kid that was like 17, or he came to a school with a gun.
We didn't know if it was fake or real.
Our children need our help to deal with tough issues, like violence. Please, talk with your kids.
For a free booklet, call 1-800-CHILD-44. Brought to you by the Kaiser Family Foundation, Children Now, and the Ad Council.
Let me cut through all of the noise.
Rush is on every weekday from 11 to 2.
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind.
Right here on your news and weather station.
Where consumers of hard news go.
On News Radio 710 Keel. 710 Keel. 710 Keel. Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. Our question of the day: what is the silliest news story you have heard all week long? Kind of a week where we need some silly news, since there's been a lot that's been tragic and not so silly. So we've got a couple here, but we want to know, what's the silliest thing you've heard this week? You can give us a phone call, 318-320-KEEL. You can also reach us on Twitter at The American Edge, or on Facebook.com/America on the Edge.
Sounds like some Follies time coming up, huh?
It is Friday. Okay, so here's a trend that's going around on Twitter. As the kids are hashtagging things. They are taking pictures. As school's coming back into session, kids are now taking pictures of themselves next to vending machines
and tweeting them at Michelle Obama.
Oh.
And saying, yeah, thanks, but no thanks for the healthy snacks.
No Snickers.
No Snickers, no M&Ms, no chocolate. So, they've got their granola bar and their couple-day-old apples, and they're all like, that's just not the same.
No, it's not the same. Thank the Obamas for that, kids. I guess you're waking up now. I do remember this chant that the kids were doing in school, Barack Hussein Obama, They're not saying that anymore.
Well, no, they're
saying
they would
granola
bars. Okay. So here's another Friday Folly that started many years ago. Back in 1997, there was a shipping container carrying 4.8 million Lego pieces.
Ooh.
It was on its way across the Atlantic, and it fell off the ship. And so now those 4.8 million Lego pieces have been washing up on the shores of England and Wales and parts of Ireland.
We're going down to the beach. Legos, free Legos.
Yeah, so free Legos just on the beach. It doesn't work with the metal detector because they're plastic pieces, but they're just tons and tons. 4.8 million Lego pieces just washing up on the shore.
Maybe it's because of my age or whatever, but I just never really got the Lego thing.
You never did?
I never did, man. I mean, I was just way out of that. I was into the wood blocks and those types of things.
The Tinker Toys.
Yeah, I was into that kind of thing, man.
And the log cabin stuff.
Yeah, I was into that stuff. But the Legos, the snapping on, I don't know, it got past me.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
my kids and grandkids are into it.
I liked making Legos, and then I liked making stop-motion animation videos with the Legos in them, kind of moving them through. But I have just increased my nerdiness here on the show.
You have.
Speaking of nerdiness, this is awesome. You ever hitchhike, CL? You ever gone hitchhiking?
Yeah. From here, in fact, all the way to Kansas City one time.
Really?
Sure did.
Okay, well, there is a robot that is hitchhiking all the way across Canada.
I knew that guy.
It's called Hitchbot. This is a robot that has arms and legs, but they don't work. It can't go anywhere. So if it's going to get across the country, somebody has to pick it up, put it in his car, and drive it. And so far, the Hitchbot has made it from Nova Scotia, which is over on the East Coast, north of Maine, all the way across into British Columbia.
Man, I tell you,
in Canada.
I don't know who would pick up a robot. What kind of person picks up a robot?
Right. Oh, hey, well, I got to tell you, though, there are people that I would not pick up hitchhiking. I look at them and I go, yeah, I don't feel like today's a good day to get stabbed.
Wait, what are you talking about?
If I see a robot that has arms and legs that don't work, I might be like, you know what, I'll pick up the robot because it's not going to hurt me.
Oh, no, it could. I got to ask the question again. Folks, you got to answer this for yourself. What kind of person stops and picks up a hunk of metal and puts it in their car? You can't even get in the car.
You just put it in the passenger seat. It's about the size of a really big bag of groceries.
Does it tell you where you're going, where he's going?
Yeah, it'll talk to people.
It says, I'm going to get out here.
It'll talk, and
That's what it says?
It says, I'm heading to Victoria. It wants to go to Victoria.
Man, that put me on the edge the whole way to wherever we're going. This is this is America on the Edge with CL Bryant. It's Friday, and we're going to wrap it up here when we return.
This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
If you're tired of getting nickel and dime for your company's marketing needs, GI Marketing Group can help. We're a new, evolved marketing company with no monthly fees or markups and with quicker response times. With GI Marketing Group, there is no outsourcing. We own the production facilities, everything from print, mail, video, digital, and web design. We do it all in-house. Call us today at 318-222-1100 to start saving time and money, or visit us online at gimarketinggroup.com.
Doctors Thornton, Pugh, Ollier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Burns. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get them, CL.
If the number on your thermostat is going up just as quickly as the temperature outside, your air conditioner may have a serious problem. Give the friendly folks over at Premier Heating and Cooling a call at 222-1980.
How are you going to pay for college? Family trust fund, the lottery, a student loan? Hey, the Army National Guard can pay your tuition. Not 1/4, not 2/3, all of it. And that's for serving part-time. Go to our website, same as our phone number, www.1800GoGuard.com. Can you pay for college? In the Army National Guard, you can.
Sponsored by the Texas National Guard. Aired by the Texas Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Rush. He's in your face. He says what you might be thinking. And sometimes what makes you mad.
Fewer and fewer people actually have a moral core. They're not willing to stand up for their moral core. And you talk about the double standard, and one of the greatest illustrations of it is rappers can practically say anything they want about women. And it's called art.
Listen to Rush each weekday from 11 to 2 only on News Radio 710 Keel. This is America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Well, welcome back to America on the Edge. We have a caller. This is Melissa from Bossier, and appreciate you calling in. You wanted to talk quickly about the last segment.
Just wanted to say thank you for giving us a really clear, defined, factual display of it and not going off on tangents or emotions. We really appreciate it.
Melissa, we want to thank you. This is CL. I can't tell you how much that means to us, for people like you to be listening, and the encouragement that you offer to us. We do want to build that bridge of conversation and invite you to call back in when we have more time, really, to talk to you. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
Yeah, part of the key of what we're trying to accomplish here, and I'm glad Melissa saw that, we want to show that you can disagree with people without being disagreeable, but we also want to make sure that we have the facts at our fingertips, right, so that we're able to talk about it in a factual way. Right, and we hope to bring on those who were under attack perhaps next week to talk to us about their side. Sure, we want to get all sides of the conversation. Absolutely, it's the only way you move forward. Absolutely right. It has been a fantastic week for us, and there's only bigger and better things to come. We have in the lineup coming up here in the next few weeks. We got Glenn Beck coming up. Elaine, you need to get back on Dennis Miller. Need to get Dennis in here on the show, but Glenn is going to be coming on with us. Another friend of mine, and folks, we may be taking a trip up to St. Louis, depending on how this thing begins to shake up. Stephen and I might be having to come to you from there. And so, yes. We just have it's been a great week this week, and we got a lot of other stuff coming up next week. Some local campaigns are starting to heat up too. We're going to be covering that next week as well. Yeah, and folks, I do again need your prayers for my wife. We'll be headed back up to do a little bit of therapy here in this coming week, but I'll be on here with you, and Stephen, of course, will be helping us fly this plane. And as always, we want to thank God for bringing us yet to another end of another week and the close of another day. And we want to thank those men and women in uniform all around this globe, from sea to shining sea, who protects even your right and mine to speak our minds behind these microphones. Until we talk to you again, this is CL Bryant, America on the Edge.
And keep America strong and living free. They see the damage and
Your station for news.